Hello everyone, my name is David Webb, and today we're going to be talking about Kindle Vella and why it might be the best thing to happen to self-published authors since Amazon itself. Let's get started. Hello everyone, thank you again for joining me. My name is David Webb, and I made this channel to give you the best tips on writing and creativity so you can finally finish your book or have that creative career you've always dreamed of. I spend most of my time on this channel talking about writing craft, but occasionally you need to talk about publishing because I know that's the goal for a lot of you. You want to see your books published. And so publishing is a topic that I just can't ignore. So for those of you wanting to publish your book or show your writing off to the world, this is the episode you don't want to miss. Amazon has announced in the last few months that they are going to be moving ahead with what they call Kindle Vella, their way of showing serialized fiction to the world. What is serialized fiction? Put briefly, it's a way of publishing your book in short, bite-sized pieces, often just individual chapters, so that readers can go ahead and read what you're working on right now and get a new part of the story each day or each week, or maybe even each month. Those of you who have heard of Wattpad or are currently published there already know what serialized fiction is, and it is a format that is becoming more and more popular these days, especially with the introduction of binge watching thanks to formats like Netflix. If you've ever watched any content on something like Netflix, you know that it's more digestible to watch individual episodes than it is to watch one movie all at once. It's almost bizarre how you can commit 3 hours to watching a bunch of 20-minute episodes, but it's somehow so much harder to commit to a 2.5-hour movie. My thoughts on consumerism and attention spans are best left for another video, but Amazon has taken advantage of this phenomenon and given a way for authors to give their writing to their readers in more bite-sized pieces, hoping to capitalize on that binge reading and addictive nature of serialized fiction. Of course, as many of you know, there's nothing new about serialized fiction. It's one of the oldest forms of publishing. It's how Sherlock Holmes was originally published, in individual pieces in the newspaper. However, given that it is more and more popular in recent times, now is a great time to take advantage of it. Enter Kindle Vella. Due to release sometime mid to late July, as they're currently saying, Kindle Vella will allow authors to upload chapters or sections that are somewhere between 600 and 5,000 words long that readers can go on and read the first 3 stories for free and then spend coins or tokens on the rest of the series. Eventually, ideally, paying more money to read the entire book than they would if they just purchased the book. It's also going to be a slightly more interactive way of publishing than Amazon is used to. Readers will be able to give a like to a story that they like. They'll be able to favorite some. They'll be able to follow a certain story so that they're notified when a new episode comes out. Authors will also be able to address the reader directly in a note at the end of each episode, something that I personally really like. Something of note here is that they're not able to actually leave comments. They're not able to leave a review. This can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, and we'll get into that a little later on. And finally, as far as compensation goes, the author will receive 50% of whatever the reader spends on the tokens that they use to unlock the episodes. This compared to the 30% to 70% that an author can receive when publishing directly through Amazon. Yes, you may receive more of a percentage when you release the full book on Amazon, but again, there are reasons why you would want to publish with Vella, and I'll get more into that a little later on too. Now that you know what Kindle Vella is, let me explain why it might be the best move you can make for your writing career, especially if you're just starting out. One of the biggest hurdles authors face when writing is finishing. It's getting the nerve to actually publish. It's the whole process of finishing the entire book, packaging it in a nice needle format, and then releasing it and then marketing it. And then there's a whole idea of spending so much time on one book, not knowing whether people will actually like it, only to finish it and then release it and then find out that it's a book that nobody really wants to read. Serialized fiction takes a lot of that approach and changes it entirely, making it much more friendly for beginners to get into. When publishing with Kindle Vella, you'll have the opportunity to release 3 to 5 episodes into the wild and find out if there's something that people actually want to read. Granted, you'll still have to do a little bit of the marketing. You'll have to actually tell people that you're published. Yes, Amazon is pretty good about introducing new content to readers if they think that they'll like the content, but Amazon will only do so much. A lot of the legwork must still be done by you. However, once your chapters get in front of an audience, you'll have feedback on whether or not people like it. You'll have likes, you'll have favorites, people will follow you. You'll know very quickly if a story is worth continuing. However, due to the fact that people can't leave comments, you won't get any negative feedback, which, granted, sounds nice, but in most cases you need negative feedback to tell you what's not working, what to make better. That's the only part I'm not a huge fan of, that people can't leave comments, they can't leave written reviews, therefore not letting you know what you need to improve upon. However, the positive feedback that you will be receiving will be more encouraging, and it will motivate you to finish the book. You'll know that you have people out there waiting on you to finish whatever you're writing. This alone is one of the most powerful motivators to finish anything: accountability. The simple fact that you know that someone is waiting for you to finish is very strong motivation. You know that if you don't, you'll be letting some people down. This right here is why I think Kindle Vella will be so powerful to authors, especially new authors. You'll get feedback one way or another whether you should continue a book. You'll know what to dedicate your efforts toward. Now, there is a downside to this. Inevitably, there will be some people who want to see the story finished, but if that's not enough for you and you decide to abandon a certain story, the people who are waiting for you will be disappointed. However, the way I look at it is no matter what you do in life, you're going to disappoint some people. In the end, it's going to be up to your discretion. It's going to be a choice that you have to make, whether you want to satisfy these people or these people. But thankfully, Kindle Vella is there to help you make that exact decision. It'll show you the kind of feedback that you're getting, and it will help you decide, maybe this is worth pursuing, maybe I should shift my focus elsewhere. Another reason I think this will be phenomenal for authors is that they'll be able to reach a whole new market that many people don't try for. There are people out there who primarily read serialized fiction. They won't even bother to go to Amazon and look for full-length books. They'll stick to platforms that they know and simply read just serialized fictions, one episode at a time as it's released. It's similar to how some people only read box sets. Some people only read standalone books. Some people only read series. This way, those of you who already publish full-length books will be able to hit a new market by releasing one chapter at a time, ideally growing your audience and your income. And because Amazon is the biggest book distributor in the world, a lot of the audience that is already on places like Radish or Wattpad will migrate to Amazon for an even greater selection of the kind of books that they already like to read. And finally, yet another reason why this will be such a huge benefit to authors is that you don't have to be exclusive. For those of you who already publish through Amazon, you know that you have certain benefits when you are exclusive to KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. However, all authors who use Kindle Vella to publish will have these same benefits. They'll get the same love, quote unquote, by Amazon, whether or not they remain exclusive to Kindle Vella. You can release your work on Wattpad or Radish as well as Kindle Vella and reap the same benefits. The only caveat here is, like with KDP, you cannot make your work freely available elsewhere. If it is available elsewhere on the internet, it must be behind some sort of paywall, some sort of subscription service like Kindle Vella. However, since I believe that the first 3 stories are available to readers for free through Kindle Vella, I think you can post those first 3 chapters available elsewhere on the web for free, similar to how you can release 10% of your book that is published exclusively through KDP elsewhere on the internet for free. However, please don't quote me on this because I am not entirely sure and I could not find a straight answer on this. And finally, once you finish with the story on Kindle Vella, once all of the chapters have been on the site, I think for 30 days, you can package the story up as a book and release it however you want. You can release it directly to Amazon through KDP. You can release it elsewhere. You can do whatever you want with it. So you're able to hit that additional market and you're able to publish it as serialized fiction, and then you're also able to package it and release it as a full-length book. There are so many advantages to publishing through something like Kindle Vella and not enough disadvantages to not take it seriously. I myself would love to take advantage of this if I weren't in a strange season of my life when I'm in the middle of 2 different jobs and about to make a huge life change. But you can bet that I will be releasing content through Kindle Vella at some point in the near future. Again, I highly recommend this format, and if you are new to publishing and you want to see if you can take this seriously, if you can make it a career, I highly recommend going ahead and uploading content right now. It's releasing very soon to readers, no firm date as of right now, but it's coming soon, so you might as well get started. If nothing else, make a pen name. If you don't want your own name to be associated with work that you're not sure whether or not will succeed, make a pen name and just start releasing chapters. This is the perfect way to get started in publishing. If I had never published before, this is what I would do right now. I'm serious, this is something that you need to look at and seriously consider because I think that it can be that powerful. So let me know down in the comments below if you plan on taking advantage of this. I would love to see what you think and possibly read some of your work if you make it available to the public. And with that, that's all I have for you today on Kindle Vella. Thank you again for joining me. My name is David Webb. Can't wait to see you all again and get some writing done.